Hey, my name is Bree. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make some really basic stickers at home. You have a lot of options when it comes to making your stickers. For mine today, I'm going to be designing them myself and then printing them out. But if you find something that you like online, as long as you're allowed to use it, or you have pictures that you want to use, you can use those too.
So these are the sketches that I made. I love the idea of having stickers that are so unique and something that you know that you would want, because then it's more exciting to make them and have people be like, whoa, that's really cool. Where'd you get it? And you're like, oh, that's cool. I made it. It's whatever. You might also notice that I made some changes. I just decided that I didn't want certain things, and so I ended up just changing them, and that's totally okay. So right here, I'm just using Photoshop to go over my sketch pictures. I'm putting outlines on right now so that I can put color underneath. And then the nice thing about doing outlines digitally is that you can always hit undo, which I did a lot. I'm kind of a perfectionist and I like to have things looking almost exactly how I want them to look, and so by using Photoshop I'm able to get a more crisp finished product. This Sleep When You're Dead design is actually based off of a shirt that I made for my screen printing final a couple semesters ago when I took that class. I just changed it up a little bit and I think it would make a really good sticker. You might also notice that I go back and forth between having the pictures in the background and having a blank background. Sometimes I feel like the picture's really good, I can get a really good quality outline from it, but it also can be really difficult to see what it's actually going to look like, and so when I flip back and forth, I'm just making sure that it looks good on its own and it's not just like the sketch in the background that is looking good. Cool, so now I am just adding some color into them. If you're using Photoshop and you're just using a standard printer with it, try to make sure that the colors are going to work with your printer. If you choose colors that aren't like RGB friendly, sometimes your printer will print them in a different color and it looks a little strange, a little off, not quite what you meant. So just make sure that you're paying attention to that, and make sure that your canvas size is the correct size for your printer so that there's no clipping involved when you print. So I'm just going in with my wet blender here, making sure that everything is pretty even. Usually when I do digital art, I like to use this wet mixer, but I don't want to use it for all of the stickers today just because I want some of them to look different, and I like this kind of 2D flatness I have going on for some of them, so I'll only use it for 2 of them. So I'm just going within some scissors and separating them so it's easier to cut them. I'm going to cut all of them out, and for this one I decided I wanted to go ahead and leave some white space around the edges. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I just kind of like how it looks with the white border. If you decide that you don't want the white border, I would recommend using an X-Acto knife instead, just to make sure that you're getting all the nooks and crannies that you need cut. Alright, so I have all of them cut. I'm gonna go ahead and rip off a piece of this parchment paper. And today I'm gonna go ahead and be using some masking tape just to try to hold it down to the table. You might notice that it doesn't always work super great, but it's better than just having it kind of going wherever it wants. So I'm gonna go ahead and tape this down real quick. One kind of important thing to note here is that tape is reusable. So if you do end up using it and you go between different pieces of parchment paper, make sure to save it, don't toss it out. You can reuse it a few different times before you need to get a new piece. And I'm going to be using this double-sided tape. It's technically meant for furniture so that your cats don't scratch it, but it works really well for the stickers. So we're going to be using that today. Once you have it laid down and you have your stickers ready to go, you're just going to remove the paper pieces off of that tape that is making sure it doesn't stick to other things. And then I'm using this card that I got in the mail. It's one of those like, get lower insurance now, or whatever like that. And so I'm using that to make sure that there are no bubbles between the paper and the tape. And then later on, also using it to make sure that there's no bubbles between the two pieces of tape. So I'm just taking some tape and I'm gonna cut off a piece and lay it down. Using that insurance card, I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure that there are no bubbles. But this part is important just because this is what seals it off and make sure that it doesn't like fade in water or can help with sunlight. So I'm just gonna be extra careful here. So once it's stuck down properly, I'm just going to take off the masking tape so that I can cut the parchment paper along with the sticker. This way it has a back to it and you can wait to stick it on things, or that way you can just take it off right now if you really feel like it. Just whatever is easiest for you, and then that way it doesn't get like hair or dirt on the back of it and make it not sticky. And right here, I'm just trying to make sure that there are no bubbles whatsoever in this sticker, so I'm just gonna go over it a few times. You don't have to do this, but I just want to make extra sure. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing for all the rest of the stickers. If it requires more than one strip of tape, like it's too tall or too wide, you can go ahead and just layer them over each other. The same thing with the top layer of tape, just make sure that there aren't any bubbles in it and you should be good. Alright, so I mess up here. I let the frog overhang just a little bit, so I'm just picking it up and I'm adding a second piece of tape. It might look kind of awkward, and it might bubble up just a little bit, but that way at least there is adhesive all the way around, and then it's more likely to be water resistant so that there isn't any water that will mess up the sticker. All right, our stickers are done.
Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed what you saw, go ahead and leave me a like, and if you really feel like it, you can subscribe to see my new videos every week. Thanks!